University of Sheffield, Project Sunride hosting Karman Alpha in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We got to the airport at 6.
Got to the airport at 6, yeah.
For our 11th flight, so we were there dead early.
And then we were checking through all our bags, like, oh, have we got this, have we got that? But to be honest, the check-in process was pretty smooth. We got through customs with relatively few hitches, they checked our suspicious-looking LiPo bags. But other than that, yeah, it was pretty smooth.
Go. God. All bags are loaded onto the... That's it. We have arrived in America. Vans. We're fucked. Yeah, the van has no boot. It's got no space for the rocket. We're just here, enjoying the sweet summer sun.
To be fair, yeah, I didn't really see it as America.
Yeah.
Until we went on that first 10-lane road.
Oh yeah.
And then we're like, this is America.
It was the 10-lane road, and then the massive accident lawyer billboards. Why are there so many lanes?
I mean, I would say it's exactly like the movies. You get to America and you think that the movies are an exaggeration, but they're not. It's exactly the same, and it was quite funny.
You know you're in America. Exactly. You know you're in America when you see Uber and Lyft, uberlawyers.com.
We had this really nice sunset drive out into the desert.
Once we got out of LA, it was a scenic route.
Yeah, and the orange skies, the music playing, and it was quite the entrance, to be honest. It was like the intro credits to the movie.
I mean, America's a big place. I thought we'd be there in an hour, but we saw the whole scenery change from a crowded city, and then suddenly we were in the middle of a desert.
There's Motel 6. There's your Best Western.
The clutch. Your destination is on the right.
It was nice getting to the accommodation though and seeing that they had a pool. I was very tempted to just jump in with all my clothes on.
You know that this is kind of the calm before the storm, and we just try to make the best of it and stay rested and contained.
go.
Here in Mojave, we're just doing all the inventory checks, getting ready to go and have a bit of a look at the town, and we're all keen to get going.
Yeah. Excited.
So on the 29th of June, I think the main objective of that day was just to go get food and supplies.
It's the first morning we've woken up in our motel. At some point, I check in on Avionics, who have all gathered in one room, and you can see PCB boards everywhere, cables, electronics equipment.
We turned the hotel into an avionics workshop.
Yeah. Stuff everywhere, basically. We were charging lipos, what else were we doing? Fixing stuff, breaking stuff.
Are we doing like final assembly with block type?
Yeah, we will do tomorrow.
Wait, why tomorrow?
Because we're going to have to take it up to now.
The MRAS is our, last year, it was our flight computer that we made. It had a telemetry system on it and we were going to use it to try and find the rocket. And Sam and I spent all year working on it. So we were quite invested in it working for the rocket. We were going to have it on 3 different places in the rocket. What happened was I was assembling one of the avionics bays and I plugged it in and there was some smoke.
A little pop.
It can't be a design issue, right? If it was working before. Sure. I don't think we've ever done that with 3S. So you've done one-off tests, right?
Yeah.
I've never tried plugging it in.
And then also, it's such a stupid idea to think that the lambda's the difference.
It's not.
It's a very irrelevant part.
I think the continuous plugging and unplugging might have been the issue. Like we
on
need
your one, I think it might have been Chris fault.
Yeah, for your one, I think so, because it blew up on the wrong side.
And we were all just shocked because we were like, this has never happened before. We hadn't seen this before. And then, in the rush of trying to get everything ready, we didn't really stop and have a proper kind of sit down, why did that just happen discussion before Sam and Marwan plugged in theirs.
So in the span of 5 minutes, we burnt 2 out of 4 of our flight computers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then we spent the rest of the prep time basically being very careful. We didn't want to plug any battery into the rest of our flight computer. All right,
it didn't blow up.
So on the 30th of June, we went to Friends of Amateur Rocketry for the first time. And we got up very early to try and get to the site essentially when it opened and to give us the most amount of time to sort of unpack all our parts.
Oh, FAR was really cool. Oh, because there was just all these launch rails set up, and then every now and again people would just launch a rocket, and they wouldn't give you much warning. It was just 10, no, and then this thing would go up to Mach 2. Yeah, really fun, but really hot. It is the middle of the desert.
We've made it to Friends of Amateur Rocketry in the middle of the desert. Give a pound sign. Currently waiting to unpack the car, sign some waivers, and then we can get set up. On track for tomorrow, I think.
I had a list of kind of rough timings we need to be doing stuff, which was very useful. We also had documents to go with every component, how to assemble it.
How are we doing, Emma?
Good, yeah, crossing things off the master list. It's going on.
As you can see, Alpha assembly is fully underway. We have the 2 N5800 motors, which will be assembled shortly. Fin cams have been put on both stages and are being tightened currently. And it's looking good. A bit of stress in the room. You can feel the tension, but working through it, and I'm confident we'll get it off the pad.
Final word.
Yeah.
We're all good.
I was kind of free to set up MRAS, and then we discovered the radio telemetry wasn't working.
It's the coding shot. He's hacking into the mainframe.
So, our ground station was not receiving last night, but it is able to transmit. So we know it's not a hardware issue, we just need to fix the software, which was working fine last week.
And so after lunch we decided, let's just go home and fix it in a nice, cool, air-conditioned hotel room. Yeah, and I think that was the right decision.
So what's your thoughts on this, Marwan?
I can be the radio waves faster than this. It's wild. No. Okay, we need to widen it out a little bit.
And we think this is because we switched to the American frequency because of like legal issues. And so we were kind of frantically trying to think of solutions.
I spent 2 days trying to fix it. Yeah, thinking it was some kind of software issue with the telemetry.
Yeah.
But that had already been tested in the UK, so I was dead confident that the software was fine.
Yeah.
But the other guys there were telling me,
Tom, it's a software issue, I promise.
And then towards the very, very end of our kind of debugging session, we realised that the telemetry system had like 1 centimetre of range.
It works now. we thought the software was broken, but no. You just have to put them within 1 centimetre of each other.
Right.
And it's still
Effective
not working.
range.
We got a packet. We got a packet. We're currently in the far classroom, enjoying the sweet air-conditioned cold air. We've spoken to Rick, had a chat with him over lunch, and currently just admiring the legacy teams that have launched here.
There's definitely like a feeling of, yes, we are launching this tomorrow, so people were quite either apprehensive or excited. To be honest.
Kind of feel the nerves, I'd say.
What are you doing, Sam?
I'm walking in a perfect rectangle.
What were you doing with your feet just then? Go on. So the telemetry doesn't work, but that doesn't matter. It will still log the data to the SD card.
All I'm looking for is a GPS lock at altitude. If we can get that, then we can verify our altitude against barometer readings, which may be unreliable at high altitude. So,
Especially in these like weather conditions as well.
So GPS lock at altitude, that's what we're aiming for. I think we're going to do it.
There's this glorious bit of straight road. So I'll take it down this way.
So we're just testing the telemetry and GPS capabilities at the moment. It seems to be locking fine, and it's transmitting to the ground station just fine. So I've got higher confidence that we'll find the thing tomorrow.
Morning, everyone. It's what was it again? 4:25 on the 1st of July. We're woken up very early for Alpha launch.
It is the launch day, and I have never felt more excited and terrified at the same time in my life.
We got there and then we had some last minute assembly stuff that we had to do on the day.
I was very nervous, very scared. We sort of woke up in the morning and it was kind of one of the ones where you don't really believe what's happening.
Scissors.
Wow. Lovely.
So as anyone expects, in a mission this complicated, it is very rare for nothing to go wrong.
Right, everyone, safety glasses on. On. And stand away from that thing.
There was a couple of issues. We had continuity issues with the igniter.
Can you check continuity across that? Yeah. Yeah, let's plug that in. Yeah.
Which was fixed, but then, unfortunately, during the assembly of one of the motors, one of the sealing O-rings broke.
A couple of issues along the way, such as a broken O-ring which has been sealed. We should be launching in under an hour, definitely.
Yeah, so we're just doing the head-end igniter system now and the recovery system for the second stage. So when we've done that, we can go to the pad.
What does that do?
That kicks the nose cone off at apogee.
Anything to say?
Hopefully everything goes to plan and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Vincent again.
It's gonna blow up.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah, we've got loads of tape.
We carried it to the rail, did some assembly next to the pad, like putting in the igniters.
Where did that blue page go? Got a light. No, tape down the RBF string, I'm not happy with it.
It's fine, it needs a serious force for it to come out. It needs a serious force.
We had this method of basically getting the motor in because we couldn't put the igniter in until we were essentially like out on pad. Ready, Emma? Got it through? Real. Really nice.
Nice, guys. Nice, very nice.
Are the fins in line? Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Maximum pushing power. Nice. Is that all fully locked and loaded?
100,000 feet?
100,000? Maybe. It can work if we're lucky. So we're about to launch, and I've just got a quick message for the paparazzi. If it's getting bigger in the viewfinder, it's coming towards you.
I remember walking back from the pad with Merlin, and it was like this feeling of there's nothing left to do.
Where's the mute alarm going? Don't worry guys, we're not getting mute.
Oh my god.
University of Sheffield, Project Sunride launching Karman Alpha in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
Oh, it katoed.
First stage ignited well, came off the launch rail perfectly straight, and then separation we were all happy with. But when the second stage came to ignite, we saw like a puff of smoke and got really excited because we thought it had ignited properly. But it actually exploded.
On your bunkers! Get the fuck in the bunkers, people! 4,300. 4,000 meters. 3,900. 3,300.
The number got iron.
200 meters per second. It's coming in hot.
It's coming in hot. The other stage. On the stage, yeah.
1,400. 1,200. 800. 500.
Yeah, just keep everybody in the bunkers for a few minutes. Yeah, I hear it.
I don't know which stage that was, but I made it like right
We were all celebrating because we thought it worked.
Yeah.
Our stuff worked-ish.
Yeah.
We were happy when we saw the upper stage.
Yeah.
Night.
Yeah.
We were over the moon.
Because that was the big thing for us, like, for literally the whole year.
We ignited second stage, and that was my biggest concern, so I'm so happy. Because I saw another stream.
And you could hear it too. You could hear the boom, like when it blew up. Yeah. The second stage katoed right at ignition.
And you can hear the parts of the rocket coming back down. And that was quite terrifying, to be fair.
What happened? I didn't see.
Who has GPS?
And the rest is history.
I mean, for the bottom stage, we didn't have a GPS for that, but that came down a lot closer than the top stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, we sort of just went out in a line in the direction that we knew it was.
Well, it looks like that on impact the fins sliced the bolts. The bolts. What? Come on. Because there is live black powder. The Avionics will be dead. No, the Avionics will be dead. Got that out? You want me to have down here? You ready? Lift it straight.
I mean, half the booster's probably in the ground.
Yeah. Do you want to reuse some parachutes? Any Abbey bays? Any Abbey bays? There is some Abbey bay. Be really careful with that.
Sam and Marwan, they had the telemetry from the Telemetry.
Which is sustainer,
Yeah. And we could see this very, very ballistic trajectory that the upper stage had made.
Mm-hmm.
So we went back and reviewed the data from the Telemetry, found a more accurate landing location, and then decided we're going to just come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we were all exhausted and hot and sweaty, and we just wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
So the thing was, we wanted to bring stage 1 back as much as we could. So we had to take this mangled mess that had hit the ground going God knows how fast and take out the motor casing.
We had a very accurate GPS location, and so we went out with a minivan, and a few of us just went like straight to the last GPS ping.
Where is it?
Oh my god.
Oh my.
That is a crater.
We found the hole the next day in the sand, which was probably like, I don't know, 600 metre across max, 600 mil across, like a little pit of sand, and the rocket had buried itself.
it's yours, but it's a rocket.
It's in, yeah, pretty much exactly the right place.
That is a very sharp trailing edge of the fin.
That's Alpha. So the effort started.
And we all took in turns because it was getting way too hot, even though it was still early in the day.
I think we were digging from like 9 AM till 11 or something.
Yeah.
Shit.
Wait, Martin. Oh, shit.
There's half the body shoot. Can you just give me stuff and I'll hand it on to your shop?
We'll just fall over to where you're digging.
Like it was a longer...
Yeah? Oh, that's a good idea, yeah.
Mine shovel, yeah.
We've got another fin. All the fins have offset themselves. We can see two. The last two are still disappearing, but it's unzipped the Karman Alpha, or the A and the H of Alpha have been sliced.
Push you in the hole. 2 more feet.
Oh, you think under all of the fins? Or
can you do it around a fin?
You do it around like the fin can, that stuff, yeah.
And we dug out this massive hole, and you could see that the rocket had literally buried itself 12 feet underground.
Five.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. Yes! Whoa!
That's not a full rocket. So this is the yellow and green wires of the head end. So maybe the top blew up, maybe it didn't, but...
I would never call this mission a failure. It is easy to underestimate the number of late nights, countless hours working on this project. I never felt like we failed. And in fact, this kind of events, for something to go wrong, it is always part of the story. It happens. If anything, it is our failures that help us learn and move forward and come back and do it all over again, but better.
We did manage to get back the payload. We made some of these little rings, which were I made them in the machine shop, just as a sort of token for all the leads and brilliant engineers that have worked on the project for the whole thing.
Overall, once it had finished, we were very happy. There was a lot of teamwork that went into it, and it was very rewarding to finally kind of see the thing that we'd built for 2 years somewhat work.
Yeah. We learnt a lot, even though it didn't work. I think sometimes you need it to not work so that you can learn what didn't go right, why it didn't go right, what we can do differently next time.
When he initially saw the O-ring broken, he said, "Oh yeah, that's going to explode."
Is that confirmation it was fine?
That's
yeah,
confirmation it was a bottom end blowout. The bottom
Well,
of the rocket just exploded.
Yeah.
It was the day of launch, just in the pool. We started talking about it and we got the general sort of architecture in our minds already
And that
of
stayed
what
pretty
we
true.
wanted to do for the next rocket, and that's not really changed to this day.
Also, this is the birthplace of Karman Bravo, fellas. Heard it here first.
It was a privilege to be part of this team, and it is one of those things that initially feel impossible, and it was incredible to see what we can do, what university students can do if you focus and work so hard on a mission like this.
Say how it's already it's gone through.
Going. Everything went in through. Aeroplane. It's through.
Yay!
MRAS.
Found MRAS, Avionics. We found MRAS.
The day keeps getting better. We're gonna iron MRAS, baby. Hopefully.
I'm understanding the vibe.
You're feeling it now?
So what's going on here then, Tom?
Very good question, Tom.
We've just been admiring the sunrise.
Quick pan.
Sunride, it goes together very nicely. Who could have guessed that was the inspiration? Not me.
Pick off the top layer here and then eat all the goop with one.
Yeah, no. So anyway, fellas, don't eat it. What are you doing?
I'm taking the top layer off.
Why?
Just do your video, mate.